his book, saying Biberian was the first one to teach him how to be profitable. After the meetup, he joined 2Channel under the name Biberian. From some who later became legends of Japanese trading. If I hadn't gone, I might have left the world of stocks a long time ago. The notorious trader Sis later wrote in his book, saying Biberian was the first one to teach him how to be profitable. After the meetup, he joined 2Channel under the name Biberian. In the beginning, despite the pressure, Biberian started winning fast. But Sis had big problems. He was desperate to win, but stuck at losing. Sis was looking for profits like everyone else at the time. Cheap fundamentals. He would buy good fundamental companies whose stock price was on a discount, hoping to sell them for a higher price. But it wasn't working. Despite making no profits, he still defended the strategy with pride. Not understanding his mistakes, Sis grew frustrated, until he met Biberian in Shinjuku. Wanting to win like Biberian, he decided to study and absorb his ways. He wanted him as a mentor. Biberian had fought hard and became one of the top leaderboard traders on 2Channel right from the start. However, unlike other leaderboard legends like Yua and F3 who stayed quiet, Biberian loved helping other traders. He got a reputation as the helpful older brother of the board. With few friends offline, the 2Channel conversations brought him a lot of joy. Wanting to help Sis make money, he began sharing all the secrets behind his unique trading strategy. Slowly befriending Biberian, chatting back and forth between trades, and asking lots of questions, Sis started absorbing Biberian's trading skill. Or in his own words, it's the reason why I changed by buying and selling with emphasis on fundamentals to buying and selling with emphasis on price movement. By now, Biberian was improving his basic price movement strategy by looking where no other Japanese traders were looking. While Japanese trading experts all said the same, buy big safe companies from the topics, Biberian did the opposite. He dived deep into risky emerging stocks, making the Nasdaq and the Mother's Index his hunting ground. BYND didn't risk holding companies. It was all about price movement. And to his surprise, the emerging market moves were a lot bigger. BYND learned a huge and aggressive price movement of the emerging market made it easier to find common price patterns. Human emotions moved these smaller markets. Seeing the genius in his mentor, Sis and BYND began hustling together with one of their iconic stock heists, the Topics ad. One of their iconic stock trades was Dito Drinko, a company that started as a simple energy medicine drink, but grew into a vending machine behemoth. BYND had told Sis about it on the train. As Sis read up on the news, he knew exactly what his mentor was aiming for. It will be added to the Topics. When it's added, Topics-linked investment funds pick it up automatically. In those days, some big Japanese institutions, much like an S&P 500 index ETF, only bought the biggest Japanese companies, automatically buying whenever a company entered the Topics. BYND, insecure and hating risk, tried to teach Sis to take small bets. But Sis never listened, and he loved betting the house. Together, they inspired each other. Obsessed, trading long, painful days, all fighting for the two-channel leaderboard top spots. Despite having no life besides trading, BYND and Sis still lost often. But it was enough for their account sizes to grow. Although stubborn at first, trading alongside his mentor, Sis finally started making profits. Proud, BYND felt like he had a new best friend.
The ability
But the
to
mentorship
pull out quickly
didn't last long.
of a stock that's not
As
going my
success
way.
can change emotions
And I have to be really respectful of that, because it seems that it's basically killing my account. And you know, on a case like this for SKK, for example, you know, I typically would have bought well, the breakouts, right? So maybe I would have this one, maybe I would have gotten a green trade on it. But very often, I wait and I wait and I wait and I buy here. Right? I like to buy the breakouts. So we'll just pretend I didn't see the previous breakout and I'm chasing, coming in late. I'm looking at the stock, it's looking like this. Oops, not like that. Something like this, right? We're popping, we're seeing volume. I buy the top, starts to pull back. I need to instant, just like that. Instantly pull out and not do. Oh, we're pulling. Oh, I'm wrong. God damn it. Maybe we hold the 9. We'll probably hold the 9 moving average. Maybe we hold the 20. It should bounce on VWAP, right? And that's where we are. But the thing is, I'd be holding from the top all the way down to VWAP. So now the stock would need to bounce all the way back up to the highs for me to get green.
Sis was convinced he had learned everything he could. Small bets. But Sis never listened. With 3 friends offline, the two-channel conversations brought him a lot of joy. Wanting to help Sis make money, he began sharing all the secrets behind his unique trading strategy. Slowly befriending BYND, chatting back and forth between trades, and asking lots of questions, Sis started absorbing BYND's trading skill. Or in his own words, it's the reason why I changed, by buying and selling with emphasis on fundamentals, to buying and selling with emphasis on price movement. By now, BYND was improving his basic price movement strategy by looking where no other Japanese traders were looking. While Japanese trading experts all said the same, buy big safe companies from the Topics, BYND did the opposite. He dived deep into risky emerging stocks, making the Nasdaq and the Mother's Index his hunting ground. BYND didn't risk holding companies. It was all about price movement. And to his surprise, the emerging market moves were a lot bigger. BYND learned a huge and aggressive price movement of the emerging market made it easier to find common price patterns. Human emotions moved these smaller markets. Seeing the genius in his mentor, Sis and BYND began hustling together with one of their iconic stock heists, the Topics ad. One of their iconic stock trades was Dito Drinko, a company that started as a simple energy medicine drink, but grew into a vending machine behemoth. BYND had told Sis about it on the train. As Sis read up on the news, he knew exactly what his mentor was aiming for. It will be added to the Topics. When it's added, Topics-linked investment funds pick it up automatically. In those days, some big Japanese institutions, much like a S&P 500 index ETF, only bought the biggest Japanese companies, automatically buying whenever a company entered the topics. Biberion, insecure and hating risk, tried to teach Sis to take small bets. But Sis never listened, and he loved betting the house. Together, they inspired each other. Obsessed, trading long, painful days, all fighting for the two-channel leaderboard top spots. Despite having no life besides trading, Biberion and Sis still lost often. But it was enough for their account sizes to grow. Although stubborn at first, trading alongside his mentor, Sis finally started making profits. Proud, Biberion felt like he had a new best friend. But the mentorship didn't last long, as success can change emotions quick. Last long, as success can change emotions quick. There was a market recovery into a rising bull market. Despite Japanese markets finally taking a breather, two-channel wasn't all fun and games. The trading was cutthroat. While Bibi liked to share with others, the cocky Sis liked to make fun of people. And his mentor was no exception. In the summer of 2003, Sis began learning the methods of Yuwa, who was on top of the leaderboard and 3 times the size of Biberion. Sis was convinced he had learned everything he could from Biberion, and he started making fun of him, claiming he will surpass him in no time. Feeling disrespected, Biberion watched as other traders he helped jumped in to crack jokes. Betrayed, hurt, and angry, Biberion refused to let Sis win. That summer, they clashed heads. Sis went to war, believing Yuwa had the best strategy, simply riding the bull. He started riding the bull through a continuous buying of pension funds, simply riding the waves up and relying on the market's long-term positive drift for profits. While Biberion's plan was different, he doubled down and fine-tuned the emerging price strategy. For profitable trades, Biberion relied on 3 golden moves. 1. Buying companies soon to be added to the topics. 2. Front-running foreign institutions' buying announcements. And 3. His most famous strategy, the infamous emerging shotgun. As he battled for the top spot, the emerging shotgun became his infamous money printer. Here's how he did it. First, he watched the emerging index for a cross in the 5-day or 25-day moving average. He watched the JASDEC average for trading the overall trend and cross, but switched to the mothers for trading the movement during the day. Next, as the break in the cross formed, within 5 minutes, he buys around 10 positions in emerging stocks. Always buying spread across different market industries to spread the risk. Lastly, for all his stocks, he placed a tight stop loss right under his buying price. Even though most got stopped out as they hit the stop loss, it only took 1 to 3 stocks to shoot up for him to make good profits. Like shooting a shotgun, he only needed a few shells to hit. For it to work, it relied on 2 conditions. 1, individual emerging stocks are moving following the emerging index. 2, individual emerging stocks should all be moving together. If one goes up, all the others should too. Going head-to-head and trying to outcompete each other, it forced them all to take more risks, bolder plays, and refine their strategies. Despite the constant stress, sleepless hours, and toxicity, Biberion pushed himself further. Weeks of learning from his losses and sleepless non-stop trading schedule, Biberion managed to get a little better, learning to pay close attention to the volume. If there was strong volume together with the cross, it increased the success rate of the emerging shotgun. Without it, the market trend often did not change. Also, because he kept trading the same move over and over, he got a feel for doubling down on the shotgun winners. See, whenever emerging shotgun trade went right, the stock price goes up big. So to squeeze more juice out of them, he began to increase the position size of the winners as they shot up for more profits per trade. Suffering through many dark nights, that summer, Biberion and Sis tested their limits. Not wanting to lose, they pushed each other further. But by June 2003, the leaderboard showed Biberion's genius. Sis was no match. Despite their toxicity, they remained friends. For more than 20 years, until I graduated from university, I spent most of my days commuting between school, home, and cram school. The only other place I went to was the Shojiho in Senegaya. I never had many friends. 2-Channel is all I got, although there were many times I thought of hitting him. 2-Channel hit a turning point. That battle started a rivalry that would soon scar Biberian forever, as they were about to meet a rival trader that exceeded all their imagination. At the end of 2003, Biberian had organized another 2-Channel meetup. This time was at the Fruit Parlor in Ginza. While he didn't know it at the time, this would later be known as the legendary Fruit Parlor meetup amongst Japanese traders to this day. While enjoying their gourmet fruits, a new person showed up. After a small talk, they realized this man was on a whole different level. By far, the biggest Japanese bedroom trader they had ever met. Blown away by his account size, Biberian and Sis asked him questions. They couldn't believe it and wanted another meeting with laptop proof. An account size they could never dream of. Blown away, Sis and Biberian left super inspired on the train ride back. Soon after, on January 18th, 2004, this trader joined 2-Channel under the legendary name BNF. The day BNF hit 300 million, Biberian hit 100 million yen. High on life and with inspiring brothers, Biberian strived to reach an even higher level. He wanted to be number one, but he never imagined how fast his whole world would change. After last year's growth, the tide shifted. While the Japanese economy continued its recovery in the first half, thanks to export growth for China, in the second half, everything changed. Slower growth from countries like the US and China meant less export demand, coupled with a rise in crude oil, meant a change in the market. From the middle of 2004, a lame market entered, an opponent Biberian had never met before.
Now, I know this sounds
After an
very
online
simple and
catfish
logical,
incident, Biberian had taken a few months break from 2-Channel. By the time he was back, he was having a hard time.
つまりもうマーケットを手に入れることができなかったのです。出現が一方通行の爆発のようでなければ不可能だ。
A market that isn't clearly going up or down turned out to be his toughest opponent yet. Volume in the emerging market was drying up. While he still had other strategies, Biberian always relied on his emerging shotgun to aggressively grow his assets. But now that the market wasn't going in one direction, it became impossible. Without a clear direction in the index, the emerging stock movements were random. Biberian was getting his ass beat. After a few painful months, losing more and more, it got really bad in October.
And that's just creating more stalling, you know, and not progressing. So we'll take the month of May to, you know, fully adjust and get comfy with the strategy. Develop those skills to bail quicker. And become a risk manager from the moment I press the buy button. I think what usually happens is I press the buy button and, you know, I'm smart enough to see patterns and, you know, setups and things like that. So I'm not that bad. But once I get in, it's almost like I just throw all logic outside the window. It's like, now I'm holding for glory. And I gotta stop doing that. So I just gotta catch myself before I do it. I gotta make sure that I'm getting in on A+ setups and following the strategy. It's really simple. And yeah, I'm trying to keep up here. Yeah, the micro pullbacks.
Biberian started falling further behind BNF, while Sis was catching up. To help the older brother, a lot of 2-Channel traders reached out to give advice.
Yeah, that's a good point. Entry model is important, but so is an exit strategy. You have to get out where the trade is invalidated.
He didn't want to hear it from just anybody. He needed to hear it from the guys on top. At the time, BNF was printing profit.
I'm just good, you know. So Nova 7 there. That's, you know, for me, that's, I'm just thinking in real time here. Entry model is important, but so is an exit strategy. You have to get out where the trade is invalidated. So when we say the trade is invalidated, I would say that, you know, that's when it's done, right? There's no more looking at it. We're done. Moving on. And I think there's a difference between that and being stocked out, right? Because when we're chasing a stock, like, I'll use SKK here as an example. Maybe not a good example because we don't have news today, but if it had news, it would fit, you know, an A+ setup. We have news, the right float, the right price. It is moving up. It's actively traded. So like I mentioned earlier, if I would have bought the top here, expecting a breakout over 8, it doesn't go, I bail out immediately. Doesn't mean the trade in itself, like the whole setup is done, right? It might come back down, we bounce back of a VWAP, it comes back up, we break 8. There's still a chance. And I think what you're saying is when the trade is, well, I don't know. Because I think I struggle sometimes when I get stopped out. To me, it would be like the trade is done, move on. But sometimes, you know, you get stopped out and it's just because you got the wrong entry. The trade might still be valid, you just got the wrong entry. You're managing risk, you don't want to take too much off your account, so you get out and then you wait. Oh, there's the setup, there's people coming back in, and you reload and you get back in. AMZE? I don't see it on the stands. Yeah, it's too cheap. My name is shorting shorting MCL. Nice. Good luck with that. We really need to start using MACD more. I need to be using all my skills more. I think it's what it boils down to. So right now we still have EBC on the scans here. Tried to break the 750. I think I saw 8 on this thing on the left here. Oh, well, it's breaking 7. You know what? EBC might be on a blue sky breakout territory. Yeah. So blue sky breakout on EBC. It's got a higher float of 70 million shares. So I wouldn't trade it. Just because of that. Doesn't mean the stock is not going to go up, but I'm following some kind of strategy here. I gotta be, you know, I gotta hold myself accountable to it here. So. But EBC currently the leading, is it the leading gap? It is. It's up 92%.
From 1 billion yen to 10 billion yen, while Biberion lifts non-stop trading schedule.
But a higher float, so
but by June 2003, the leaderboard showed Biberion's genius. Sizz was no match. Out as they hit the stop loss. It only took 1 to 3 stocks to shoot up for him to make good profits.
Oops.
Like shooting a shotgun, he only needed a few shells.
You guys are active.
For it to work, it relied on 2 conditions. 1, individual emerging stocks are moving following the emerging index. 2, individual emerging stocks should all be moving together. If one goes up, all the others should too. Going head to head and trying to outcompete each other, it forced them all to take more risks, bolder plays, and refine their strategies.
Robert, good morning, sir.
Despite the constant stress, sleepless hours, and toxicity, Biberion pushed himself further. Weeks of learning from his losses and sleepless non-stop trading schedule, Biberion managed to get a little better, learning to pay close attention to the volume, If there was strong volume together
Not
with
so
the cross,
much money,
it increased the
feels sick to my
success rate
stomach.
of the emerging shotgun.
Boy,
Without it, the market trend often did not change.
That's a tough
Also,
name.
because he kept trading the
Guzzle,
same move over and over,
8763
he got a
loss.
feel for
It's too
doubling
much
down
money.
on the
Feels
shotgun
sick to my
winners.
stomach. It happens, man.
See, whenever emerging
It
shotgun
happens.
trade went right, the stock
And,
price goes up
you know,
big. So to squeeze
Best
more
thing
juice out
to
of them,
do on a
they
day
began
like
to
that
increase the
is to
position
not
size
trade
of the winners as they shot up
and
for more profits
maybe
per trade.
even not watch the
Suffering
market.
through many
I
dark
don't know.
nights, that
It
summer,
makes you feel sick
Iberian
to your
and
stomach.
Sis
It's
tested
not
their
good.
limits. Not wanting to lose,
But
they pushed
yeah,
each other
sorry for
further.
that.
No emotion.
But by June 2003, the leaderboard showed Bibirion's genius. Sis was no match. Despite their toxicity, they remained friends. For more than 20 years, until I graduated from university,
So we're
I spent
back.
most of my
Jeez, I
days
skipped a whole
commuting
bunch here.
between school, home, and cram school. The only other place I went to was the Shoji-ho in Senegaya. I never had many friends. 2-channel is all I got, although there were many times I thought of hitting him. 2-channel hit a turning point.
Dude,
That battle started a
All-Night
rivalry
Gamer.
that would soon
I
scar
don't know if you
Iberion
can
forever.
maybe
As they were about to
I
be
don't know,
a
just
rival
tone it
trader
down a
that
little.
exceeded all their imagination.
I'm so cooked.
At the end of 2003, Biberion had organized another 2-channel meetup. This time was at the Fruit Parlor in Ginza. While he didn't know it at the time, this would later be known as the legendary Fruit Parlor
morning,
meetup
folks.
amongst
Good
Japanese
morning,
traders
boss
to
man.
this day. While enjoying their gourmet fruits, a new
GCTK
person
hitting the
showed up.
scan, no news.
After a
1.6
small
million
talk,
float.
they realized this
Struggling
man
to
was
get
on a whole
hold of
different
the
level. By far, the biggest Japanese bedroom trader they had ever met.
UPST.
Blown away by his account size,
By your
Biberion
phone.
and Sis asked him questions.
By
They
your
couldn't believe
price.
it. I
Pass
wanted
on
another
that.
meeting with laptop proof. An account size they could never dream of. Blown away, Sis and Biberion left super inspired on the train ride back. Soon after, on January 18th, 2004, this trader joined 2-channel under the legendary name BNF.
Love your YouTube content.
day
I've been
BNF
learning
hit
a lot.
300
Thanks,
million.
bud. You're quite
Biberion
welcome.
hit
Don't
100
touch the
million yen.
watch. 645.
High on
That's
life, and
funny.
with inspiring brothers, Biberion strived to
Well,
reach
I'm glad
an
some
even
people are
higher
getting
level.
value out
Damn, I
of this.
put them
He wanted to
in.
be
I'm very
number
grateful
one.
for that.
Okay.
But he never imagined
Extremely
how fast
grateful
his
for
whole
that.
world would change.
Sorry, I blocked All-Night Gamer. Was not able to keep up. Yeah.
After last year's growth, the
All-Night
tide
Gamer might
shifted.
get a timeout
While the
again.
Japanese economy continued its recovery in the first half, thanks to export growth with
The
China.
heck,
You know,
man?
I've been debating
everything
about that.
changed.
You know what
Slower growth from
should be.
countries like the
You know,
US and China
I'm not one for
meant
rules,
less
but
export demand.
as
Coupled
you
with a
know,
rise in crude oil meant a change
but maybe
in the
we should
market.
have some kind of rules for the chat, just so we don't kind of get lost
From
in
the
it.
middle of 2004, a lay
You know,
market entered.
I think
An
we
opponent
basically
Biberion had
kind
never
of all
met before.
trade the same and look for the same
After
things.
an online
MASK
catfish
are
incident,
getting a
Biberion
pop.
had taken a few months break from
MASK
2-channel.
getting a pop. I don't
But
see
the time he
rules
was
on
back,
it,
he was
so
having a hard time.
つまりもうマーケットを手に入れることができなかったのです。出現が一方通行の爆発のようでなければ不可能だ。
today the 5th.
A market that isn't clearly going up or down turned out to be as tough as
So I
opponent
had
yet.
news yesterday.
Volume in the emerging market was drying up. While he still had other strategies, Biberion always relied on his
days
emerging
ago, and
shotgun
this is
to
a Hong
aggressively
Kong
grow
stock.
his assets.
600,000 for
But
the
now that the
float.
market wasn't going in one
Recent
direction,
split.
it became impossible. Without a clear direction in the index, the emerging stock
It's
movements
got
were
some
random.
of the ingredients for you know,
Biberion
nice
was
move,
getting
and
his ass beat.
it made a nice move from 215 to 255.
After a few painful months, losing
That's a
more and
nice
more,
trade.
it got really bad in October. His
So
emerging
looks like
shotgun
we're hitting
completely
resistance
broke,
at 250,
and the topics ad
260 level.
foreigner front running decreased a lot as the constant institutional buying was fading.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that.
One by one, his strategies were failing.
See,
Meanwhile,
UPST,
Sis was growing his assets aggressively. He had taken advantage of the USEG bank boom, with BNF in front of him and Sis breathing down his neck. Biberion
been
was
getting
trading more
these
than ever.
users that spam the chat.
Feeling
They
the
bots. I
pressure,
don't think they're
his
bots. I
emotions
think
spilled over into
you
his
get the
trades.
occasional,
His
you know,
price reading
some people
accuracy
really
dropped
like
further.
to,
It felt like the
you
wind
know,
was disappearing
verbalize
from underneath
every
Sis.
single thought they're having,
Stock
like me.
trading was all he
But
knew.
they like to text it,
He
you
didn't
know,
want to lose
since they
to
don't
the
have a
others.
mic.
He was
They
desperately
need to,
searching
you know,
for a new
get that
angle.
information out somehow. And I think I can relate to that because, when I
Yo,
wasn't
I have a
live
mic.
streaming,
On November 20th,
some of
2004,
you
I
might
just,
remember
I'm trying to
this.
clip on this guy's channel. I
Sis and
think you can
BNF
solve
for
the
advice.
show.
When I wasn't
They
They even
streaming,
convinced
I was
BNF to bring his laptop to
extremely
prove his
active
assets.
on stock
Oh.
bits.
After the inspiring meeting, he
And
tries
most
again,
of the
but without
tweets
clear
that I
buying
put out
strength
there
signal from the
were,
index.
you know, just me
Imperion couldn't
venting
figure
my
out if the
ideas, just
individual
like
price movements were
online
genuine
gamers
or
doing here.
deception.
You know, just saying everything that's going through my
Imperion could
mind.
no longer win. It felt heartbreaking. Imperion started falling further behind BNF, while Sis was catching up.
But, you know, in a chat, it's a little different.
Throughout the older brother, a lot of two-channel traders reached out to give
Oh,
advice.
boy.
But
So what did you
Imperion had
do
been
that?
on top since the beginning. His pride and frustration made him too stubborn. He didn't want to hear it from just
Throw
anybody.
the ban hammer.
He needed to hear
I
it
might
from
have
the
to
guys
do
on
that,
top.
Try
At
not
the
to miss
time,
out on any
BNF was
comments this
printing
morning, but
profits.
you guys are
BNF watched which stock sectors received
so
new
maybe
inflows of funds and bought the
that
latter.
ass. I lost it all.
Relied
Just now,
heavily
I'm
on
cooked,
being
lost
able to read
everything.
the forces of Philippines buying
Oh my
from
god, no
investment
cap.
trusts and
For
pensions.
real.
Maybe he can't read that
Yeah.
fast.
He's
Arrogant
voice
Sis
texting
told
on
Imperion to
cocaine.
try it.
Online gamer, how much you lose?
While it seemed similar enough, Imperion had a hard
Amazing
time.
support.
Imperion traded watching the emerging index.
Just needs
He had a
like
hard time
15
trading a
seconds
list of
before hitting
individual
enter.
charts in different sectors, especially spotting their
CYPH, the
underlying
only
forces.
pre-market mover that's up past
While it came
opening
natural to
high.
Sis, Imperion couldn't pull it off. Part of what made Imperion successful up to this point was his simplicity,
I gotta
which
check
this
this out.
strategy lacked. His frustration
CYPH.
clouded his mind. Disappointed in his mentor, Sis continued being Sis.
All right, so you're buying a stock with 88 million shares for the float, trading at $1.33.
Reaching his breaking point, Imperion lashed
no
out and got
news.
into a big argument, reminding Sis, without me, he would have quit the markets a long time ago.
It's on an uptrend, sorta, a choppy uptrend.
Up all night, walking. He had lost
This
his
is a
motivation to earn
disgusting
money.
daily chart.
Frustrated with the success of Sis and BNF, the pressure was too much. He was
That's a
tired of
scary
competing
looking
with the
chart.
people around him.
So
After both hitting 400 million, that
company
March,
lose
Sis
if the
surpassed him.
stock keeps going up.
On March 23rd, 2005, he reached his boiling point. After a bad streak and a terrible trade,
Yeah, no
Imperion
thanks.
felt consumed with dark thoughts. He visited a doctor the same day. He started blocking out market info and stopped reading blogs.
Holding GCK.
He stopped trading.
Terrified, but I get paid today.
Frustrated with trading and envying his friends, Imperion realized he had done nothing else. What started off as stress to pay the bills became an obsession that grew into deep resentment.
NAMM getting attention.
Imperion could no longer win. It felt
AMM,
heartbreaking.
I don't see news on it.
Showed up. Genius. Sis was no match. Despite their toxicity, they remained friends. For more than 20 years, until I graduated from university, I spent most of my days commuting between school, home, and cram school. The only other place I went to was the Shoji Hall in Senegaya. I never had many friends. Two-channel is all I got, although there were many
There should
times
be
I
another
thought of
term,
hitting it.
fear of losing out.
Two-channel hit a turning point. That battle started a rivalry that would soon scar Imperion forever, as they were about to meet a rival trader that exceeded all their
I
imagination.
doubt Ross would take the mask trade. Keeps CYPH. I didn't even think of bringing the great one on here.
At the end of 2003, Imperion had organized another two-channel meetup. This time was at the Fruit Parlor in Ginza. While he
Where's
didn't know
the
it at
great
the
one?
time, this would later be known as the legendary Fruit Parlor meetup amongst Japanese traders to this day.
Quick peek.
While enjoying their
No
gourmet
trades,
fruits,
watching
a new
HDOM
person
at the
showed up.
moment. All right.
after a small talk, they realized this man was on a whole different level. By far,
Sitting back
the
there,
biggest
Ross,
Japanese
and
bedroom trader they had ever
Let
met.
us know if there's anything
Blown away
worth
by his
watching.
account size,
But
Imperial
I'm sure we'll
Sis
find it
asked him
as you
questions.
find
They
it.
couldn't believe it and wanted another meeting with laptop proof. An account size they could never dream of. Blown away, Sis and Imperion left super inspired on the train ride back. Soon after, on January 18th,
Hey, good morning,
2004,
Bo.
That
this
beep scared the
trader
shit out of
bought
me.
two-channel under the legendary name BNF. The day BNF hit 300 million,
Luigi trying to
Imperion
help.
hit 100 million yen. High on life and with inspiring brothers, Imperion strived to reach an even higher level. He wanted to be number one. But he never imagined how fast his whole world
You
would
need to
change.
fix your level 2. No reason to see orders under 100 shares. It's too noisy.
After
can't
last year's growth,
fix that.
the tide shifted.
It's the
While the
level 2 I
Japanese
get.
economy continued its recovery in the first half,
He likes
thanks
it
to export
noisy.
growth with China. In the second half, everything changed. Slower
That
growth
scared
from
the
countries
shit out
like
of
the US and China meant less export demand, coupled with a rise in crude oil meant a change in the market.
GERN. Floats too high.
From the middle of 2004, a lay market entered, an opponent Biberian had never met before. After an online catfish incident, Biberian had taken a few months break from 2-channel. By the time he was back, he was having a hard time.
つまりもうマーケットを手に入れることができなかったのです。出現が一方通行の爆発のようでなければ不可能だ。
A market that isn't clearly going up or down turned out to be his toughest opponent yet. The volume in the emerging market was drying up. While he still had other strategies,
All night
Biberian always
gamer
relied on his emerging
white
shotgun to
YouTube.
aggressively
Can I
grow
ask you
his
something?
assets.
What
But
is
now that the market wasn't going in one direction, it became impossible. Without a clear direction in the index, the emerging stock movements
why do
were
you
random.
watch my channel?
Biberian was getting his ass beat. After a few painful months, losing more and more, it got really bad in October. His emerging shotgun completely broke, and the top picks ad and foreigner front running
This
decreased a
channel
lot
peaked.
as the constant institutional buying was fading. One
Well,
by one,
one way
his
to be
strategies were failing.
not emotional
Meanwhile,
is
Sis was
to
growing his assets
you know,
aggressively.
keep
He had taken
some of your
advantage of
thoughts
the
to
UJ
yourself.
bank boom. With
You know,
BNF in front
to
of him
kind of
and
stay
Sis
cool,
breathing down
calm,
his
and
neck,
collected.
Biberian was trading more than ever. Feeling the pressure,
I don't know
his
how to
emotions
say it in
spilled
English,
over
but,
into his trades. His price reading
TCK might be
accuracy
cooked.
dropped further.
TCK
It
might
felt
be.
like the
Rumine
wind was
tes affaires par
disappearing from
toi-même.
underneath his sails.
Sacrément. Ça devient vraiment,
Stock
vraiment
trading
gossant.
was all he knew. He didn't
Puis,
want to
ben, je
lose
sais pas
to
si
the
tu comprends
others.
vraiment le
He
français,
was
mais
desperately
ça serait
searching
une bonne
for a
façon
new angle.
de m'exprimer des fois sur le monde qui me tape vraiment ses nerfs.
On November 20th,
Me?
2004,
I
Biberian
understand.
meets up with Sis and
I
BNF
don't
for
entertain that
advice.
person. Just block
They
him. He
even
deserves
convinced
it.
BNF to bring
He
his
sounds
laptop
like
to prove his
a
assets.
know-it-all. I think he is
After
a
the
know-it-all.
inspired meeting, he tries again, but without
Have
clear
I
buying
checked out
strength
Easy
signal
Go?
from the
Yes.
index. Biberian couldn't figure out if the individual price movements were genuine or deception. Biberian could no longer win.
Rough
It
translation,
felt
chill out.
heartbreaking. Biberian started falling
I think
further
this person
behind
is
BNF,
intoxicated.
while Sis
You
was
know,
catching
like
up.
the funny thing is I can relate to what he's
To
doing.
up the
I
older
used to
brother,
do that
a
on
lot of two-channel traders
on
reached out to
StockTwits.
give advice. But
Kind of
Biberian
ashamed
had
of
been
it,
on top
but-
since the beginning. His pride and frustration made him too stubborn. He didn't want to hear it from just anybody. He needed to hear it from the guys on top.
I'm sure he'll come to his senses.
At the time, BNF was printing profits.
But in trading,
BNF
sometimes
watched
we
which stock
lose our
sectors
minds, you
received
know?
new inflows of funds and bought the
And
laggards.
I feel I'm at the
He relied
point that
heavily
I'm
on being
about to
able
lose
read
my
the
mind,
forces of
and I
continuous
gotta.
buying from investment trusts
and
and
I-
pensions.
I'm annoyed at hearing myself
The
repeat
arrogant
the same
sis told
things over
Biberian
and
to
over,
try.
and I can't imagine how you guys must be annoyed by
While
it.
it
So
seemed similar enough,
I really
Biberian had a hard
apologize for
time.
that.
Biberian
It's,
traded watching the emerging index.
It's
He had a
unbecoming
hard time
of a day
trading a
trader.
list of individual charts in different sectors, especially spotting their underlying forces. While it came natural to Sis, Biberian
So we just,
couldn't
you
pull
know,
it off.
keep our eyes on
Part
the
of what made
scam.
Biberian successful up to
Super,
this
un autre
point was
Québécois
his
qui
simplicity,
day trade,
which
c'est
this
cool.
strategy
Ah,
lacked.
beaucoup,
His
old
frustration
Dave.
clouded his mind.
Another
Disappointed in
Québécois.
his mentor, Sis continued being Sis.
Il y en a pas mal de Québécois qui font du trading, mais la plupart le font en français. Puis pour moi, mon cas
Reaching his
particulier,
breaking
c'est
point,
que
Biberian
j'habite
lashed
dans
out
un
and got into
endroit
a big
très,
argument,
très
reminding
franglais.
Sis, without me, he would have quit the markets
Plutôt un
a long
village
time ago.
anglophone essentiellement. Puis j'ai tout appris en anglais pour trader. Donc j'ai bien de la difficulté à m'exprimer en français quand ça vient le temps de parler de shares.
Frustrated
You
with
know,
the success
Momo,
of Sis and BNF, the pressure
Tous les
was too
termes de
much.
trading
He
essentiellement,
was
je les
tired
connais
of
juste en
competing with the
anglais.
people around him.
Fait que, c'est pour ça que
After both
je
hitting
fais mon
400
stream
million,
en
that
anglais
March,
aussi.
Sis surpassed him. On March 23rd,
I was just saying
2005,
how
he
I
reached his boiling
basically
point.
learned everything in English and I cannot
After a bad streak and a terrible
talk
trade,
about trading in
Biberian felt
French
consumed
because
with
I'm
dark
always
thoughts.
looking for
He
the
visited a
French
doctor
words
the same day.
and they
He
just
started
don't come
blocking
to
out
me.
market info and stopped reading blogs.
Like even a day trader in
stopped
French,
trading.
if you ask a day trader, if you ask a French person,
Frustrated with trading,
what do you
began
call
beating
it?
his
A day
friends.
trader in French?
Biberian
a
realized
day
they'd
trader.
done nothing else, but started off as
Like,
stress to
the
pay
French
the bills
term is,
became an obsession.
I
An
think it's
obsession
called
that
the
grew to
négociant
keep
en
resentment.
bourse,
An obsession
which is
to
kind
stay
of a
on top.
mouthful.
But his timing couldn't be worse. The market was about to enter the biggest bull run since the start of his trading career.
And apologize for being a jerk to you last
Imperial
month.
quit in March.
Nobody's
By
a
June,
jerk.
Japan's market was in a powerful
You know,
bull
you
run.
guys,
the exact one-way market.
yeah, nobody's a
Imperial
jerk.
had been
You
praying
know,
for.
we're all
With the
kind of
positive market
expressing
jump,
our
it
thoughts
was
in the
easy for
moment.
his rivals to
Sometimes in
print
the heat of the
profits.
moment, sometimes under pressure, under stress.
SGMT and BYND
So I get it. It's
started
all good.
experiencing rapid growth.
Again, you guys don't, fully know me, so
While the market
insults
soared
and
his
anything like
rivals
that
grew,
doesn't truly
Imperial
affect me.
spent his months just
What
walking around
the
Tokyo
chat
without
bugs
an
me
arrow
the
to run.
most about, or where I find that
But on December 8th, 2005, an accidental typo by
c'est
a
nuit
security
it,
employee caused a huge
it
error.
impedes
They
my
mispriced the share.
my flow is when
BNF
I'm,
took
let's say I'm
charge,
watching
taking
HUT,
almost 50% in
HUT
the
right
company,
now,
and SIS
I'm
followed.
thinking 103.50, all right? So I'm kind of zoning into the thing, and then I glance over, and someone says, don't do it. And I'm like, are they talking to me? Are they talking amongst themselves? Am I not supposed to take this?
Well,
What's
in the
going
meantime,
on? And then
Imperial felt
all of
like
it,
he
next thing you
needed
know, I'm
something new.
completely
Imperial decided to
flustered
get lost in
just
his
because of a
hobbies.
comment that has nothing to do with the trade,
He launched a
But
new hobby blog.
it's one of my
pursuing his love
weaknesses.
for
I
eating out,
just gotta work
trying
on it.
local gourmet foods, reading, and exploring Tokyo.
You're way too nice. Let's get
He
back
even
on
started
track
working
with
towards a
trading.
Tokyo tour guide certificate. But the markets wait for no one. The Mizuho trade became one of the biggest trades in history. So big, the trade even got covered in newspapers. Both SIS and BNF profited millions. Despite his freedom,
interesting
Imperial
game of trading.
couldn't help but think about Two Channel and feel envy towards his friends. He was no longer a top trader. A lot of billionaire Japanese traders were made in
Are
those
you the
years.
same
So his 400 million became a lot
that's
less
in,
impressive. Falling into a dark mental state,
Milan?
Imperial gives up his two-channel account and password. With no blogs or two-channel friends, Imperial had a lot of lonely nights. finding himself. That year, SIS grew from 300 million yen
I'm just
to
not,
3
I'm
billion
watching
yen.
the scanner. I'm not seeing
BNF
anything.
grew from 1 billion yen to 10 billion yen. While
OCG,
Imperial remained stagnant
easy go.
at 400 million yen.
Under
While he was able to
BWAC.
chase his hobbies, the cost felt painful. Imperial got left behind.
OCG here, coming up to 250. It's got a 1.8 million float. We got the right price, the right zone in here. OCG. We're just missing news on this one.
Seeing the news, Imperial couldn't help but
We're
miss
missing
trading.
news, but it is
Now
moving.
retired,
250 will be the
Imperial
breakout
realized his
spot. This
hobbies
is
were not
usually
as
where I
fulfilling
like to
as
get
he had
in.
hoped.
So
When trading became about being better than others,
see here,
it lost
I
its
can
fun.
figure out level 2.
However, no longer being able to catch up to his friends, freedom. In time, Imperial's
doesn't
envy
have
slowly
news. I
began
shouldn't
to
be
fade.
spending too much time on this.
Reflecting on his
have news.
past,
Let's
he realized it
OCG.
wasn't the big wins or being on top
just
that brought him
confirm.
joy. It was having his first friends. Like-minded brothers, all struggling to achieve the same goal. What brought him joy wasn't profits, but two-channel, and battling
Vico?
alongside his friends.
No. Yeah, I don't see news on this, so
Slowly, Imperial started
it looks
trading
like it's
again,
trying to break the
but this
250.
I don't know,
time
that
working
means
without his
better.
ego and the constant pressure.
So if I was
Instead of
taking a
forcing
trade,
daily
let's say this
trades,
thing
he was now
had
taking his
news,
time.
I'm gonna just do a
Jibangan
case
良くないと
study
勝て
here
ない
kind of thing.
To further cut the
So
pressure
we'd be
of stock
looking at
trading,
level 2 here
Imperial
to
buys
see
a
if we
Tokyo
can
apartment
start
for 70
printing
million yen
250s.
cash. He decided he will only trade with limited
We
capital
need to see
instead
volume
of his
coming
entire
in.
portfolio.
The MACD is
Ever since the
open.
JCOM incident, there was a big spike in Japanese retail traders. So in early 2006, Imperial reopens a trading blog.
So what I'd be looking
started
for
making
would be for
magazine
250
appearances.
to start printing, supported by big
It
green
was the
prints,
first time
the
he
bright
revealed
green
his face.
stuff,
With two channels
higher,
saying he looked like
obviously.
Hunter x Hunter character
and
Goto.
we need to see these volume
Even
bars
though he still
increasing.
needed a lot of work, Imperial
Like
wanted
we
to
want
bring
to
back
see,
the joy of
this is
trading
small,
alongside his
bigger,
brothers.
bigger. Let's get a bigger green candle. If we don't get it at 250, we're not getting the breakout.
On January 16th, a large financial inspection
get
into a
one.
Japanese company, Livedoor, shocked the
Yeah,
market.
it'd be nice to go out for coffee or something. I
Revitalized,
often go
Imperial was
to
determined to show
Ichamo.
them
My
he still
brother
got
lives
it.
there.
But he quickly learned this would become the toughest challenge he had ever faced. If Livedoor was the match that lit the Japanese market on fire, then the emerging markets were like the wind spreading flame. More and more stories of financial fraud. But as the dust settled, it created a split. Investors quickly realized most of the risk was in the upcoming companies, aka the emerging index. A lot of them
Thirsty
started
trader,
pivoting
thank you
to the
for that.
Nikkei for
I
recovery.
am
It
paying
began
attention
creating
to
long-term damage in the emerging market.
what I've been doing.
Despite how bad the emerging markets were, Imperion decided to stick with
Yeah,
it.
you're right. You're
It was the market
100%
he
right.
knew, the market that made him. He knew the perfect setup would come as long as he had the courage to sit on the sideline. After months of patience,
Yeah, it'd be nice.
in July, August, the emerging index was starting to bottom out on the short term. If the index turned bullish, other emerging stocks could follow. Feeling drained and tired of coming up short, he started to notice a move. The 5-day and 25-day moving average
And
slowed down.
Online Gamer,
started
actually,
coming
can I ask
together
you how
for a
long you've been
cross.
trading for?
Hesitant at first, since the longer trend was still bearish. But with the recent bottoming of the Nikkei, Bibiran felt like there should be a tiny bounce. He buys Yahoo, SBI, E-Trade after seeing a bounce emerge in the Rocketown stock price. By afternoon, the stock charts confirmed his move. Volume went up. He bought more, choosing to hold it overnight. The next morning, he was confident buying new shotgun positions. Until in the afternoon, when the movement in emerging index started to fluctuate. He closes out SBI completely, and most of
That
Yahoo.
would have been a nice
Also
trade
closing out
at the break
Apelix,
of
Foodcast,
VWAP.
Zentech, but he held to Carabio as it was skyrocketing.
But in
and even
hindsight,
stock
it's
high.
always easy.
He blocked his results that day. But the small
could have
sign of
failed
hope
at
didn't
any
last.
point.
The next few months will become his toughest fight for
And that's the
survival.
reason why we look for news. That's why we try to
Shanghai
determine,
shot
you know,
was
what
the
are
final
the
nail in the
selection
coffin.
criteria we
Emerging
look
became
for.
choppy
What
and sluggish.
has the
Nobody wanted
most
to buy the risk.
probability of
As the
giving
Nikkei
us a
recovered,
green
the
trade?
emerging didn't.
So
Fighting
when
through
we're
red
in a
days,
cold
as fellow
market
two-channel
environment like
traders
we
kept
are
winning. Watching him
since
struggle,
January,
other two-channel
basically,
traders couldn't help but make jokes.
you have to
Sis
be
telling
mindful
him
of that
how
stuff.
foolish he was
And,
for not switching up his market, making it unnecessarily hard for himself. The toxic comments even went beyond trading, as Sis and Bibi often fought on two-channel.
You need a reason why the stock is going up.
For
Sometimes
months,
it's just a
market
pure
and
technical
two-channel kept
breakout.
beating him down. With
And
painful
if that's the
losses,
case, well,
toxicity
you
of
treat
two-channel
it as such.
and
You got to
sleep
be
medication
careful,
clouded
manage your
his mind.
risk.
Mentally,
And
it
when the
got so
stock
bad,
has news
he
in a
started
hot
envisioning himself
environment,
walking off
sometimes,
the
you know,
bed.
they get a little frothy. And maybe it would have broken that 250 here, but no news, cold environment.
Money is important, but I also
It
want
might still
things
do it.
that are
That's the
worth
thing
doing.
in trading that's
Health,
difficult,
love.
right? So you're
I think I
looking
will be
at
happy
something
if I satisfy
and you're
these
trying to
things.
determine, is this
Until he
going up?
made his
Can I get a
final
green
post.
trade out of it? And sometimes you're thinking, yeah, for sure it's going to go up. And then it doesn't. And then you have, you know, stocks with news that don't move and stocks without news that pop. So you're trying to think, well, last time I saw a stock that didn't have news and I got a big winner out of it. Yeah, it does happen. I mean, it's not impossible. But what we're trying to do is just, you know, put as many of those criterias or, you know, selection things in our favor as possible. That's, even for my trading, that's kind of how I look at things. When I'm about to take a trade, I look for all the signals that indicate bullishness. And the more I find of those, the more bullish I get. And the more red flags I see, you know, the more bearish I get. So
After the sudden
when
news
the
of
green
American bank
outweighs the
stocks
red,
collapsing, the world
you
speculated
wanna
on the call. The
participate.
headline spread fear throughout the markets, and the Japanese stock market was
And if
no
it's
exception.
gift, like if you're
After
not too
months of
sure,
panic,
you're feeling
the need-
uncertain, my rule now is just don't do it. If you're not sure, if it feels like a gamble, if you're thinking, maybe this is a 50-50, you know, just saying that for me is kind of a reminder. That sounds like gambling. If your odds are 50-50, you're gambling. If you think your odds are 60-40, well, you have the edge. Now manage risk and you should be good. Oh my lord, I'm so late in the chat here, sorry. Okay, so saw that. Be stuck. Jingo bingo ringo. Jenny stocks, comme ça bonbon. Huh? A what? sounds racist. Ça, c'est le France du Québec. Tout le mix. SOBR. So, what you prefer? Okay. Yeah, I'll take you up on that lunch thing, Juan. Chinese are choppy, damn, and the Chinese were the OCG. Okay, so like a year. I made like 5,000 in blue chips and just got into day trading. Okay. I just wanted to get a sense of your excitement, of your optimism. The Moroccan in Canada says, so far I'm only losing money on trading. Welcome to the club. YAAS, commissions, training, memberships have been here for a year now. Don't know about you guys. Is this normal? Is this normal? That is a very, very valid question. Is this normal? Is it normal to keep losing? No news on PMAX. Yes, I would say yes. Especially if it's only been a year. That is absolute. I've seen that time and time again. It seems like the average, or what people admit to being the average, is about 3 years. It seems like within a 3-year window, most people sort of figure out, is this maybe going to work? Or I'm done. Fuck this shit, you know, and they're done. And some people, you know, they have just enough success that they're like, well, you know, I got to keep treading water here and see what happens. And they keep going. Some people, you know, I've had people reach out that've been doing this for over 15 years, just breaking even. 15 years. There is a part of it, you know, that sometimes I think it maybe I'm just a trading addict, and maybe there are trading addicts out there, and they're all they need is the fix. So, but yeah, years to me, it makes sense.
Fuck. Oh my god. Oh my god.
You know, again, Moroccan in Canada, I love those types of questions or comments because they kind of make me think of my own journey, and makes me think of, why didn't I quit? Like, am I just crazy? Am I just an addict? I can't stop? Or is there something else? And I don't have a definitive answer, but that makes me think a lot. And Moroccan in Canada, if you're, well, obviously you're in Canada, you say commissions and memberships and things like that, that's expensive. I've never, ever paid a dime for training. Maybe I should have. But